Hey, what's up, guys? Eli Fishman here with Talking Ball Interviews, back with another interview. And today I'm glad to be joined by Quin Cotton, Cincinnati Reds prospect. Quinn, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, of course.
How you doing during this time? Do you have access to cages? Do you have a bow net and tee? Weights? What's the situation?
So I'm actually in a pretty good situation here. The house I'm staying at with a few of my buddies, we got a squat rack, plenty of free weights in the backyard. We got a bow net and a tee out there as well. Have access to cages every few days. My hitting coach is, still working out here, and I'm able to go to his facility a couple times a week.
So, are you at the Reds or GCU? Where are you training?
So I'm closer to GCU right now. A couple of my buddies who used to play there, I'm living with them.
You're pretty fortunate to go to GCU because that's all I hear about is the stadium on Instagram. It was the number one ballpark in the country at very few college fields. Is there a side field, turf, thousands of seats? So just talking about how cool those facilities are for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's incredible. So there weren't any plans to build that stadium when I had committed, and so it was a really pleasant surprise of my sophomore year when they unveiled the new stadium, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's about as good as any stadium in the country. Cages are great. We have like you said, a side turf field for extra infield work or for the pitchers. But yeah, the seating's great. I was able to go back and watch a couple games this past spring before the season got canceled, and even for fans, it's a great experience.
Now, did you get a little bit of action with the Red Spring Training Complex, or did you guys have any? Had you guys started official practices yet?
So I was at a camp that started in mid-February, and so I was there for probably 3 weeks before spring was canceled.
You had a phenomenal start to your career. Eighth round pick last year to the Reds. Then you went over to Billings, 283, four home runs, a postseason All Star. How much did it mean to you to immediately come in swinging a hot bat?
It felt great. I mean, you're always nervous, no matter how well you did in college or, when you take that step up, to the next level, that's a big step. And, I feel like most people are nervous. Most guys are nervous. It's a very different environment. But yeah, it felt good. It showed me that I deserve to be here and just to trust myself and trust my talent and play my game.
For Reds fans, what can they expect out of you? What's your biggest strength?
I'd say my biggest strength is I'm consistent. I do a lot of things well on the field. Defensively, I'm solid. Offensively, I'm solid. So it's something that, I want to be a well-rounded ball player. I want to be good at everything. I want to, contribute offense, defense, base running in the clubhouse, things like that.
Now, what would you say is your biggest weakness?
I'd say my biggest weakness is I struggle with, kind of showing the power that I have in games. So, I mean, I'm strong. I don't really know how to explain it. Like I can hit the ball hard. I can hit for power. It's there, but I definitely have had trouble, trusting myself and letting myself, try to hit for more power. Whereas, it's been easier for me to kind of shorten up and just try to get on base, hit singles and doubles. So I feel like that'll be a big step for me is hitting for more power.
GCU Power Conference. You play a lot of amazing schools, and then in the rookie league that you were in, it's a lot of second year guys out of high school, first year guys out of college. So what was that transition like? I've heard guys say it's like you're facing a Friday night starter every pitcher. Would you describe it like that?
Yeah, yeah, that's one example I use a lot actually. But yeah, that's one of the biggest adjustments that you have to make. In college, like you said, you have your Friday guy, and then after that, maybe there's one or two solid bullpen arms, but then those starters on Saturday and Sunday aren't quite as talented. But then in pro ball, it's like every day it's a Friday guy. Every day, they're long relief guys, solid setup man is solid, closer's really good. So it's just more consistent across the board, I would say. That's the biggest difference.
Now talking about yourself off the field, what's something a lot of people don't know about you?
That's a tough one. I play guitar every now and then. That was, supposed to be my hobby during the off season. I'm getting better. But it's tough, especially when I'm trying to teach myself. I like to cook a little bit. I'm trying to get into that, so that's kind of become my quarantine hobby. So I'm just trying to be a well-rounded person, I guess.
Have you been binge watching anything?
I watched the first season of Ozark in probably 2 or 3 days, but other than that, I've been watching those Michael Jordan documentaries. Those have been fantastic. I'm a huge basketball fan, huge fan of Michael Jordan. I'm gonna start. I think it's called Outer Banks on Netflix.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
One of my buddies was telling me about that, so I got to check that out once I know what those are.
What's your walk-up song?
My walk-up song.
Or what was it gonna be?
Oh, that's a tough one because I'm somebody who is super last minute with all that. If I had to choose right now, though, I'd probably go with "Way Back" by Travis Scott. That was my walk-up song my junior year of college, and I mean it's solid and it's a great song, so I don't think I'd change it anytime soon.
Are you a superstitious guy at all? Do you have any Clubhouse BP routines before games?
I'm not superstitious. I definitely like a routine. I definitely like consistency, but I'm not somebody who's gonna, freak out just because one little part of the routine didn't go how it should be.
Do you have anybody that you model your game after? Or is there anybody who you could compare yourself to, or you watch their swing a lot?
I would say growing up, I tried to model my game after Andrew McCutcheon. He is somebody who I looked up to. Just the swagger he has, the way he plays, and how consistent he is. Size-wise, we're similar, about the same height. And so, I've watched the way that he's played and the way his career has gone, where he's, getting on base, driving in runs, stealing bases, playing great defense, and then being a leader for his club. So those are things that I try to do. Like I said, being consistent, offense, defense, base running, being a good face of a program, face of a team. So he's somebody I look up to a lot. I watch his swing all the time. Him and Mookie Betts, I watch him too.
For you, is there one piece of advice that you would give to a kid growing up in this game? Is there maybe one lesson you've learned or something that you've overcome that you would want to share with someone?
I would say try to enjoy it. Um, High school even is still pretty easy. It's maybe not as serious as college, and then college, that's when you find out how much you really care about it. When you're, waking up for weights at 6 a.m. Then you've got to go to class for 3-4 hours, then you have practice during the hottest part of the day, and you're finishing up your day at maybe 6 p.m. Then you got to do that over and over for months on end, and that's when you have to decide for yourself: is this something that I'm going to commit to, and is it something I'm going to enjoy? Because for me, it's like, if I don't enjoy it, then why am I putting myself through all of that? So you have to find your own ways to have fun with the game, and make good friends on a team, and just be loose, have fun, enjoy everything. That's what I would say.
Last question for you before I let you go. If you were MLB commissioner for one day, what would you do to the game? What's your opinion on the current state of baseball, aside from this coronavirus, everything?
I'd say the way the game is, I think the game's in a really good spot. I think a lot of people might disagree with that when they look at the success of the NFL or the NBA. But I think those true baseball fans, they're going to watch the game no matter, what rules we have or what things they try to institute. But I just feel like if we go too far out of the way and change the game from what it is right now, that will be, in the long term, more detrimental to the brand of baseball than anything else. But if I was commissioner for a day, I would probably pay the minor leaguers more.
There we go. That's a good one.
That's
That's
the
a good
honest
one.
answer.
All right, man. Thank you so much for joining me. Really, really appreciate it. Best of luck to you, and hopefully I can see you out on the field soon. Hopefully we get back to normal.
Awesome. Thank you.